Full-Time Banter Show, Part 2. This is the Fantasy League section. So hopefully you've just watched us in Part 1.
Yes.
My name's Tariq.
I'm Race.
And yeah, you'll see.
Hi, Liam.
Liam's still not here. We don't know where he's gone. We're about to send out a search party. But we're going to carry on without him. We'll soldier on.
He's doing Jim White, is it, for Sky Sports? Transfer deadline day. He's over all of these different stadiums trying to get
That's
you
where
latest
he
updates.
is. Yes, he's outside with his mic and a camera.
Yes.
Getting us the latest news on United and are going to actually sign anybody.
Yes,
this
he's
transfer window.
trying to stay away from all these antisocial behaviour curfew lads who maybe jump in his vision.
Okay.
Right, yes.
Right, so Riz, we'll start straight away, Fantasy League then, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
And I've got a message here, it seems to be aimed at you. So it's from somebody called Miguel, who we mentioned last show, TJ
yes,
Hooker.
TJ Hooker.
TJ Hooker says,
I hope it's nice, TJ.
he says, Riz, I really hope you're going to give everyone a chance this year and won't embarrass us all. No idea what he's talking about. Winning the Works Fantasy League, right?
Right.
With a weak team. And taking minus hits with 28 points.
I did that.
And that is, that's just rubbing their nose, isn't it? Are they that poor? They're that bad? Is there no one who can give you
Not even that. I think I had the same team when I was in your league as well.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
I think I was just, in the end, I just got fed up of it in terms of trying to get away from everyone.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd challenge myself.
His message isn't finished actually. He says, doing well on the show.
Okay, Joyce.
Yeah. Although the fellow with the beard needs to lighten up. Moody at times.
Funny to use it.
Yeah. Fellow with, what we'll do, Miguel.
With the beard.
I'll put the little button on again. He doesn't struggle with reading, does he?
He's dyslexic.
Is he? Okay, that will explain it then. Right, we'll start the show again just for you.
TJ,
Miguel.
you're not dyslexic.
Yes. Hello, welcome to the Full-Time Banter Show. My name's Tariq.
My name's Riz.
And my name's Tariq.
Say it again.
Yeah, Tariq.
How do you spell it?
Tariq, T-A-R-I-Q. Yes?
He's been called Tariq before.
Yes, that'll do. But, anything apart from the fellow with the beard would be nice. But anyway, let's carry on. Miguel.
Let's go.
Dampening my spirits like that, so close to the opening. I'm trying to stay cheery and upbeat. Okay, anyway, let's carry on. Fantasy League then, Riz, where are we starting with? Are we starting with, I've got a team here, somebody sent one in actually.
Yes, let's start with our audience, our viewers, and let's get them involved again.
Yeah. Before I forget, like, share, subscribe on this video.
Yes.
Leave your comments in the comment section. Get in touch at Full-Time Banter 7 on the Twitter. We're getting a bit of momentum now, yeah? So get in touch. Okay. Anyway, right.
Moving on. So who we got first?
We have got a team from Jack. That's all we know.
Jack the lad.
Or Jack Sparrow, I'm hoping. Jack Sparrow.
Aye, Captain.
Captain's Jack Sparrow.
Hey.
He's a friend of Liam's. So there's every chance it could be Jack Sparrow.
I think you know what's happened. I think Jack's kind of like
kidnapped
Liam.
Bring him back. He's holding him to ransom. Anyway,
you're gonna shout my team out. You're gonna show some sympathy.
Yes, we
Let's
will,
see what
Jack.
happens. Let's go.
Because I'll put the team on screen for you to have a look. It looks like Jack knows his stuff. He's been on it.
Yes.
Jack has been all over, crunching the numbers, listening to the podcasts, looking at the data, because that team is half decent. And to be honest, Jack, if you're looking for confirmation, that's the only thing I can give you. I can't criticise you too much. Patricio at the back, looking for save points.
I mentioned that in the first part of our YouTube video tonight, and it's basically a shrewd move, and it's cheap as well, at 4.5
So even if the Wolves end up conceding, chances are you're going to get those bonus points and save points for Patricio. I'm hoping you've checked out his rotation with Fabianski, because I haven't. I've got Fabianski and I'm pairing him up with Begovic from Bournemouth, and their rotation goes well into week 8 or week 10. Foster pairs up well with Fabianski, but I haven't checked out Patricio. Maybe I can put something online for you. You can have a look at that.
I don't think Foster's going to be playing much, as Liam mentioned last week.
Yeah. Foster at Watford.
Foster. Ben Foster.
Yes, Ben Foster at Watford, not Forster. Yeah. So yeah, check that out. We'll look into that. Backline, pretty straightforward. Robertson, yes. Mendy, yes. I've got him in. Wan-Bissaka, Tompkins.
I think Wan-Bissaka's going to be the golden nugget this season.
He is, because he's on a lot of people's benches, and I can just see him banging in a hat-trick or something in the first couple of games.
4 million as well, it's not a bad move.
And the reason I can say Jack is being shrewd, he's very smart. He's got Bellerin on his bench, which you might say, why he's got 5.5 sitting on his bench. But Jack is obviously planning ahead to game week 3 and beyond.
Yeah.
When Arsenal's fixtures turn, so presumably he's going to drop Wan-Bissaka or Tompkins, or if Palace do well, like I think they will, he can end up going 5-3-2, dropping King to the bench.
Definitely, definitely go 5 at the back, and you got solid options there, very good options there. So
I'm just not impressed. I'm not a fan of King. I know he's done well in pre-season. He's scored a couple of goals. He's got high ownership at the moment.
Yeah, but for the price and the returns you get, it's not a bad move, to be honest with you. I think it's probably decent.
Dale Stevens, there's nothing anybody can say to make Dale Stevens sound exciting or interesting. And Jorginho, we've spoken about central midfielders, not a fan, so taking Bellerin out and putting King on there, I'm not inspired by your bench, but apart from that, I mean, you're probably counting on your bench not playing.
To be honest with you, I think, I other than the exception of Stevens, I think his bench is fine, purely because Jorginho at £5 million, he's a box-to-box player and he can be creative. He's not just your traditional holding midfielder, your central defensive midfielder. So given the mindset, I would probably say you're right in going that way.
I'm going to put doubt in your mind though, why not Neves from Wolves for 5?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? But then again, you look around the Wolves signings recently,
Yeah.
even though he's been in the Championship,
you know,
will he get a game? Who's going to come in? Who's going to come out?
But that midfield, I mean, again, a nod to Jack. He's working the slot system, the
Pricing
that I was looking at. He's not looking at individual players, and this is what I want everyone else to be looking at. Is set your team up as a group of priced slots, and there are players in each of those price slots that you just bring in the one who's in form, and that's what Jack's doing. He's got Salah, goes without saying. If we ever need to downgrade Salah, you can get 2 players out of that. Easy. Yeah. Bernardo Silva in at 7.5, which I've gone for, I think is the smart option.
Makes sense, and I think, to be honest with you, ownership-wise, it's looking good.
Straight after Community Shield, it shot up.
Well, Guardiola came out and he said, listen, at the moment, he's basically the star player, at the moment, and I think he's done well to settle in. I mentioned this last season when they signed him, and I mentioned this, I don't know if to yourself or to Sal, I said United should have signed him because Silva is that kind of player. When I watched him play, I believe it was at Monaco when he came over. Bakayoko came over from Monaco as well. And he's just that player who knits the team and he controls.
He does look like another Silva, and he did in the Community Shield, didn't he?
Exactly.
When he was playing,
yeah, so I think he is a good Silva, so he's pretty much.
Hopefully, Pep doesn't go with the rotation and gives him a run of games.
Yeah, that's the thing. But then with City, the difference that you find is he has 6, 7 options in midfield.
Rotation City, isn't it?
How do you keep everyone happy? That's going to be an issue with Guardiola. So let's see. Watch this space.
Both for game week 1, game week 2, I think.
He was still saying on Guardiola. He wants to sign another midfielder.
Cover
for Fernandinho.
Never have too many midfielders, Well, defensive possibly, defensive midfielder. But Bernardo Silva 7.5, I think is a bit more, after what Pep has said and what we've just discussed, a bit better than...
Good value. Villian, you got Villian at 7.5, you got Mahrez at 9, you got Sane at 9.5.
You've got Ramsey at 7.5.
Yeah, definitely, there's a lot of players out there. Good move.
Sanchez, again a clever one, because that is a bit of a differential. Not many people have gone for Sanchez, and considering all the players that are away for United, if anyone is likely to do anything, it's going to be Sanchez, or it's going to go through Sanchez.
His visa went through,
And 10.5, I think
10.5 million.
10.5, I can see what Jack is doing there again. It's just a placeholder.
Yeah.
Because come week 3, Kevin De Bruyne, I can see.
De Bruyne is at 10, so
week 2, if he doesn't perform, Tottenham do see Eriksen going in there.
Yeah, you've got quite a few options. You've got Hazard in there, depending on how his first few games go. 10.5. So there's a lot. I mean, the only one that wouldn't fit into that bracket will be Sterling now, because it's obviously 11. Every other midfielder, apart from
again,
him
if he
Salah,
wanted to, with 2 transfers, he could,
change it around.
Get 0.5 something
get rid of that. And up front, it's not bad. I mean, you got Arnautovic. Most people ownership is looking good at 7 million, and Aguero premium buy, so pretty decent there.
Arnautovic, are you counting on him doing something against Liverpool? There is every chance, granted, I give you that. But I've gone with the other 7 of Zaha. Going to see how Zaha does in his first game, and then Arnautovic for game week 2. But again, hopefully everyone else who's not on this sees this system that Jack's doing and that I'm trying to, myself and Riz are trying to do as well, is our point slots, value slots. So we've got the 7 slot, he's got his premium 11, that could change to any of the 4 premium players.
Yeah.
Not that Lukaku's ever likely to come in.
Well, why not? You know, you got Aubameyang, you got Lukaku, and then after that you've got slightly lower players like Jesus, who's moving, 9.5 Firmino. So you got plenty of options. You got 5 or 6 strikers.
True,
you can potentially choose from.
Based on the minutes, you know, Aguero, he's got to be the premium one, because based on the minutes on the pitch, he played far less than everyone else.
He has.
He scored.
He scored it well.
For that time.
He is. And
he was involved. He gets 2 assists.
But that's the thing, in it, boys. Then how do you keep Jesus happy? He's just signed a new contract.
I don't think he's gonna
play. Yeah. And when he has played Jesus, he's done fairly well.
I think
he's hopefully not obviously Aguero, but I think he's settling into the Premier League. That might be a thing there.
I'm hoping the times that Pep wants to play Jesus
is it the cup games?
Reverse to that, what he's talking about is a 3-5-2.
Yeah.
And they both get to play.
See what happens with it.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, thank you very much for that. Very, very shrewd move. We see what you're doing with your pricing strategy, so good luck to you.
Top to you.
Yes, we hope Jack. To be challenging you there or thereabouts in the top.
Hope you entered the league. There's some. League. I'm going to put it's 2 pages now. Yes. Some fantastic entrants from around the world as well.
You better not finish last minute.
Up and down, no chance that is happening.
Moving forward is we have another one, I believe, our friend
TJ Hooker.
TJ Hooker has done this. Now I've got to go on my phone for this because we have basically a couple of things that we want to very quickly run through. And TJ, and this is no way taken away from what you've done, but initially just looking at your team, TJ's basically gone for a midfield heavy overload, which you guys will be able to see on the screen as well.
Midfield generals,
he's packing it up. I mean, he's got Bernard Silva, he's got De Bruyne, both of them from City. Okay, most likely both of them will play and start. Whether De Bruyne plays first game of the season,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Don't know. But then he's gone with 2 from Liverpool, I believe it is, Salah and Mane. Okay, again, that's a shrewd move because depending on the way they play and how they set up, that could well kind of benefit him. And the other one is Mkhitaryan, 7 million. Now there is options. Currently his formation is 3-5-2. It is interchangeable, but the defence I feel is weak.
And the forward line.
Yeah.
Basically, you put all your eggs in the midfield basket.
I mean, you've got a premium keeper in De Gea, which is fine. There's no issues around that. And also, you managed to get Fabianski in, which you can possibly argue that if you were to rotate, that's not a bad move. But to go with, I mean, we've talked about Tompkins before. He could be an ideal player. Alexander-Arnold, he does look good at Liverpool, but whether he gets a game... He's 5 million. He's 5 million.
Cheaper than Robertson. He is favourite to
go ahead of Joe Gomez,
start and get more games. But I think he will.
He will be rotated quite often. Absolutely, definitely. And the last one, I'm really not 100% comfortable with this, but Bertrand at Southampton. Yes, he does attack, and yes, he does go forward, and he can create and he can score. But for 5 million, maybe you could have possibly looked at putting that money elsewhere. You got option of Digne now coming to Everton, looking at him. Unfortunately, one of my picks who would have been for Fantasy Football League would have been Alfie Mawson. He is unfortunately injured till the 1st of September. So 5 million, he can't do that. And then he's gone for his 2 forward lineup. What do you think of that with the 7 million buys there?
I see. I mean, the 3-5-2, like we were spoken about early on, is becoming popular. You know, the death of the third striker. There's fewer teams playing the 3-4-3.
Yeah.
Or at least you've got to give yourself that flexibility. But both Arnautovic and Zaha, I know they're high ownership and they're the most popular in the 7 million bracket.
Yeah.
I just feel you needed a premium, or at least the lower premium, the likes of Lacazette or Firmino. Whether
I can't be too critical on that because, to be honest with you, you have a look at my team. I've kind of gone a similar way with my attack.
With Mkhitaryan, he is being tipped to do well, and a 7 is cheap. He can only go up, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
he didn't really do it at the end of last season. So
no, definitely not. I mean, the bench isn't that bad, to be honest with you. I mean, you got Fabianski, you got Jimenez at Wolves up front. You've got Wan-Bissaka 4 million, and 4.5 million is Limachan.
Limachan,
yes,
the
Fulham,
yeah.
the dude who came over with Van Serik,
Yeah.
Mikkel Serik. So the bench isn't the best, but it's not the worst either. However, possibly look at rotating a couple of your midfielders. I would say maybe drop one premium midfielder from there, and possibly look at increasing your strike or maybe your defence.
I'd like to know what basis you picked Kevin De Bruyne on, because all sources are saying he's not likely to start the first game. Yeah.
But in regards with that, I think if it's a case of sitting on the money, then you may as well try and buy someone who's actually probably going to play that first game, get you some points, and then use your second of the week after, build it up. And then take
Maybe, I mean, if you're going to stick with that system and pack your midfield, and maybe take the option that Jack has in his team with Sanchez, the wild card, not wild card, but the outside option.
The differentiator.
Differential, yeah.
Make big impact.
Ericsson maybe, so one of those two. Personally, KDB, everyone is saying is not likely to be starting. So unless you know different, get in touch. We'd love to know.
Let us know. Tell your TJ's on the lowdown.
I am going to bring him in for my team. I've got Mane at the moment, so I'm going to find the 0.5 and week 3 onwards get KDB in and see how that goes. But otherwise, I mean, not too much wrong. But
So,
go with your gut.
Thank you very much for that. And at the end of the day, if you end up finishing ahead of either one of us, then fair play to you.
That's egg on our face.
Fair play to you, definitely. Tarek, what I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, please, is to go with your team first, because I know you're itching and chomping at the bit.
I'm gonna.
You've already mentioned a couple.
Fairly settled now. I've had a strange calm settle over me since yesterday, past couple of days, because I've just.
You've seen the light, have you?
I've done all my research. Nobody's telling me anything new now. I know all the facts and all the things. So barring any major signing, and by major signing,
he means a freak week. That's what he means.
No, I'm saying in a good way. In a good way. My team's up. You can see it. Begovic and Fabianski, rotation pair. Mendy and Robertson, premium fullbacks. Gonna get clean sheets. Yeah, and we're gonna get attacking returns. Bailly, I'll come back to Bailly. Salah, Mane, in fact I've got the Liverpool triple up, and I've got the City triple up. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going for the 2 strongest teams. That is obviously not season long, that is just for these first 2 games. Yeah. First 2 game weeks. So this coming weekend, next weekend, and then we're going to shuffle the pack from there. So I'm forward planning, I've got my transfers lined up, what I'm thinking of doing. Bernardo Silva in the 7.5 slot, so there's loads of players. I could drop them down to 6.5, but there's even more players. But in fact, I've got Sessegnon in the 6.5. So if that gamble doesn't work out, game week 1, he drops to Richarlison or Walcott or whoever. Premium striker, Aguero, like we just spoken about, he gets you assists as well as goals, and his time on the pitch is absolute value for money. Zaha is in there for game week 1. Let's see how he does. Yeah, if he can keep work for his place, he stays game week 2. Otherwise, I bring Arnautovic in. Mitrovic, let's see how that gamble pays off. But again, basically a placeholder if I need money anywhere else to upgrade, which I will eventually. Game week 3, Mane might come out. Most likely will come out for Kevin De Bruyne. Mm-hmm. That's the way I'm thinking, unless someone else just lights it up. Yeah.
First couple of games. Form. You're going off form there, yeah?
Off form, yes. And on my bench, Masuaku playing out of position, Wan-Bissaka playing out of position. Those could easily come in and change my formation to make the back heavier or the midfield heavier. So 4-4-2, 4-5-1, 5-4, whatever. Yeah. And Peltier is a starter as well. So that's
budget buys there. Budget buys on your bench there in terms of that.
My only point I was going to come back to was Bailly. Had to get into the United defence somehow. Mm-hmm. That's where United are going to give you the returns, I think. He's got a warning on him so far.
Yeah, it took a little look. I think he should be alright, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. The only thing I was saying, if anything major should happen, and what I'm hoping will happen, is Well, actually, no. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Let's just keep it.
You got till Friday 7 o'clock, guys.
So basically, Alderweireld is what I'm thinking. Is if Alderweireld is to come in, he shouldn't be much more. By
6 million.
By his 5.
5 or 5. So it's 0.5. Another 0.5 you got to find from somewhere.
Yeah. Eventually, I may do. Let's see how Alderweireld becomes if he settles in. But that's my only major choice of contention. There is by everything else pretty much. For me, is set now. I'm not changing this.
Excellent.
I say. Haven't changed it in the last 24 hours, which is saying a lot. Yeah. So,
great deal of work.
Yes.
Deal of work. Excellent.
Thank you. On to yours, Riz.
Fantastic. Well, as you've probably seen from last week, guys, I went with the new signings and promoted, and basically I've had a change of heart.
Bottled it.
No, seriously, not even bottled it. I just had people come over to me and said, Riz, listen, stop taking the mic. Seriously, like TJ mentioned in there, it's not blowing my own trumpet.
Really? Are they thinking that you're doing it to spite them?
And people just saying like, listen, you know, you're trying to do it again because you want to go out your way and show that this is what we can do. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just,
come on.
Just basically, I like to have a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
I don't like to sit on my laurels. I like to just go out and push the boundaries and do
something
things.
new, something different.
Something totally crazy.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, if I want, depending on how I feel Friday morning, and I say this very loosely though, depending on how I feel Friday morning, I may well just go
with that team again.
Yeah. But I had to have a look at what I could do if I put up a proper team.
Yeah.
Now, I've been considering the 4 or 5 defenders set up at the back. So I've gone with Edison for City instead of De Gea. 0.5 cheaper, but there's a reason behind that. Seamus Coleman, Everton, which I mentioned before, 5.5 million. Robertson, 6 million at Liverpool. Mendy, 6 million. And I've gone for one handhold. I initially did put what's he called? Aspilicueta in 6.5.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
But we will talk about that. I had Aspilicueta in, but then I also wanted to get Bernard Silva in, but I had Pedro in. So when I took Aspilicueta out, I got the extra million. Put Bernard in at 7.5. There's a lot of talk out there in the FL community that he is pretty much going to be starting, and Guardiola likes him. Salah is a no-brainer. I've gone same with you, pretty much midfield. The only difference is I've got Mane, Sessegnon, Silva and Salah. Jorginho is the only differentiator there, and I'm starting him with 4-5. So 4 at the back, 5 in midfield. I've gone with Zaha, the sole striker. I've got no premium attackers up front, purely because I wanted to go defence heavy. I've got Fabianski on my bench, I've got Bellerin on my bench, I've got Anatovic on my bench, and my banker is going to be Rondon.
Solomon Rondon.
He's come over from West Brom, he's played in the Premier League, he knows what it's all about, and he's scored more than 10 goals in the last couple of seasons that he's been there, so, and he can assist, so maybe some points.
See, formation's got flexibility as well.
Flexibility, definitely. I can go with 3-5-2, I can go with 3-4.
So presumably Bellerin's there because he's going to come on.
Bellerin is, but I can't see him keeping a clean sheet at Man City, obviously he assists.
So week 3
possibly, got him in there, he's only 5.5.
So week 3 to 8, Arsenal's fixtures are pretty.
Exactly, and also gives me a chance to see how his form is and how his fitness is and how Emre plays, Unai Emre that is. Exactly there. But you're going to talk about Aspilicueta. So that's my team. It's subject to change, guys.
Yeah.
Watch out.
I mean, it looks good. Presumably Edison, you're going set and forget.
Yeah.
Fabianski with good
injury or whatever. Yeah.
Edison, I'm hearing his wife is expecting, so at some point he is going to miss a fixture.
That's fine. Could you just be a straight swap for another 5.5, like maybe Alisson or you pick for depending on how fixtures line up for the other team. Yeah, exactly. So
cool. But Coleman, see how Everton's defence do. Jorginho, my thoughts on him, I'm not a fan at the moment. I need convincing. This is the thing which I've seen throughout the FPL community is everyone's abandoned Chelsea basically. Especially after Community Shield, but prior to that, we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know, but we did our top 6 predictions last week, and we were saying that Chelsea could potentially turn it on. And I think, to be honest with you, having him there, 5 million, he's not a risk. In my eyes, he's a box-to-box player, he's not a risk. And you know what, it's very easy. I could just swap him out, put Bellerin in if I wanted to, or if I wanted more attacking, I could go for Anatovic.
Change your formation.
So there's a lot of flexibility in this formation.
But
With that.
I mean, with Chelsea, because with the early videos, you might remember me saying I was trying to find 0.5 somewhere. I think it was the very first show. I was trying to find 0.5 somewhere, just to try and get Azpilicueta in.
in.
And then I managed it, and I got Azpilicueta in, had Mendy, Robertson, Azpilicueta, and then I didn't want him.
Yeah.
And because just Chelsea just looks so uninspiring. We don't know what's happening.
It's one of them, and I think for me,
yeah.
the biggest decision for me not to go with Azpilicueta in the end wasn't purely because I wanted Bernard Silva in, but it's just having the thought of having Chelsea going back to a 4 at the back.
You saw in that game, they've got the reins are on them.
You got the shackles back on, but
Yeah.
I can understand because Sarri plays in a very, very technical way. He's very meticulous in his planning, and he will change throughout the game, and he'll do different things, and he'll do crazy things. I mean, one of the comments I read when he was at one of the other teams, I think Empoli or somewhere, he came up with 33 set-piece routines just to take throw-ins.
Oh wow! Okay. I think Stoke have got that many.
So, but he's a man who but a lot of managers out there, like I said the other day, Johan Cruyff, Pep Guardiola have really endorsed him and said, listen, he's a man of intelligence who will do things that we don't even think about.
The devil's in the detail, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the teams there, I think.
Yeah, looking good. Give us your thoughts. You've got last couple of chances. Maybe I can get back to you on Twitter if you want to send us any messages, any teams. See what
Yeah, just one point, guys, before we kind of wrap up this segment and move on to part 3. Liam's team can also be found on. We'll put it up on Twitter.
I think tomorrow.
We'll put it up tomorrow.
I'll put everything. I'll put all 3 teams up on Twitter. You can have a look at them.
Yeah, because what I would plan to do hopefully is let this transfer window go out 5 o'clock Thursday. Everything boxed off. Like I said, if I wake up Friday and thinking like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just go out and do it and promote players. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So.
And Liam isn't here. I think it'd be unfair to go through his team without his thoughts on it. We're going to forego the film section this week.
Thank you. Fair play.
Because Liam really wanted to be a part of it. And for those of you who don't know, you can tune in next week, and it gives you a chance to get your ideas in. But basically, because it was the opening of the season, we were going to go with your favourite sports films.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I had in mind, the way I was thinking, was more sort of biographical, but people have sent in all sorts of ideas, which is fantastic. It kind of opened my eyes to a few other films.
Yeah.
So we've got both the biographical and the slightly more fictitious, or however you want to call it.
There's a different approach to it. With sporting things, I know some comments that I've seen, or even ones I like, are based on either books or true stories that have occurred. Obviously, the films ain't always too detailed, based on
fictionalized, won't mention it.
But those are the things, kind of things. If you're wanting ideas, it doesn't have to be about a specific person or a team. It could just be an overall thing.
Yeah. So whatever your favorite sports movie is, get it into us in the comment section below or on Twitter at FulltimeBanter7. Like, share, subscribe, and that's about it for us.
So for another week.
This time next week, we'll know where we stand.
Exactly. Yeah? And if he's not doing well on his points, let's see what excuse
I will be very moody then. Yes, I'll have reason to be moody.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
guys. All the best. Goodbye. See you next week.